Hey everybody, Basic Eric again. We are going to do the paint experiments today for the bronze for the wheels. So I have 5 different colors I've picked out from House of Color. I'm going to mix up, I'm going to try an ounce of each and see if I can do that or not. I've never tried spraying such a small amount. I'm just making spray out cards today, so I don't want to go crazy. So I've got my scale, got all the stuff, and we'll mix some stuff up and give them a try. Alright, so the first one on the list is pretty simple. It has the S203 carrier, which is, I don't even remember what color that is. I can't remember what all these numbers are. Usually they're labeled, that one's not labeled, I don't remember what 03 is. And brass, pearl FX, and reducer, that's it. So this one's pretty simple. So we'll zero out our scale here. And we need 16 grams of this. Seems like a lot. Let's see here. A few more drops. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect because this is not a final coat. This is just an experiment. Okay, so 16 grams of that. I don't know what that is. Black? Couldn't tell you. It's too dark. Once we spray it, we'll have a better idea of what that is. Okay, and then 6 grams of this stuff. Oops. Forget which one is the reset button there. That's alright. 6 grams of this. Yep, a little too much. That's alright. 6.3 grams of that. And then reducer. We want 12 grams of this. I'll just go ahead and add it to that for a total of 18. Do it that way. Oh, way too much. Okay, well, the good news is they say you can over-reduce this stuff, so I just did. That stuff poured out way faster than I expected. Let's kill that. And let's see if we can see what we have here. That looks like that's enough material to get through the spray gun. Use the detail gun again here. Let's see. Pretty dark color there. It's supposed to be a brass color when it sprays out. So give that a good stir. And then what I'm doing, I don't have it all set up here, it's outside right now. I have black and silver, because they don't actually specify on the color formula what kind of base color to put underneath it, so I'm going to try both because I don't know which one's going to work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get that sprayed out and then I'll show you what we got. So this is the silver, and this is the black. I'm pretty hard pressed to see the difference between those two. This is a little lighter, but other than that, they don't really look, the color's not that different. That's kind of a cool color. I like it. Alright, I'm not going to film all of the painting for the rest of the cards. I'll just show you when they're done. Get kind of monotonous going through all of these, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing. So, see you in a bit. Alright, well, let me show you where we ended up with all of these colors here. This was that first card that we sprayed. You see that's got kind of a nice green tint to it, which is what we were looking for. We didn't just want that brown color like we got out of the other ones. Second one here, this is using the Bronze Pearl, I think is the name of the color, the FX pack. And this is kind of just brownish looking like we had before. And what we're trying to avoid is something that just looks like chocolate when there's no sun hitting it. So that one certainly has a chocolate look. This one just kind of has a nice dark color, not exactly chocolate. And then, so these two were just on, I think that S203 color was Galaxy Gray. So it's basically black with metallic in it, which is why once you put a couple coats on, you can't really tell that this was black and this was silver underneath. After that, we get into the ones that were the candies, and then now you can definitely see. This one is Pagan Gold. That's kind of nice, but too yellow. Oh, and that's blazingly yellow, as you can tell. So I don't think that one's going to work. And then next, this one was the root beer candy. That's not bad. Kind of looks like a copper penny, an aged copper penny look. On the black, I don't know if this is showing up in the video or not, but the black, the metallic shows up a lot more. The silver looks a lot more like root beer, but it is kind of a nice color. It's too brown, I think, and then again, when you take it in the shade, it is just brown. That one. This one maybe you can get away with. So that's a possibility. I don't think that one is. And the last one was really interesting because it was actually purple. When you look at the color, you see this, and you think, oh, that's kind of a cool color. And then you look at its ingredients, and it's made with purple. You're like, huh? So purple on silver obviously doesn't work. You know, nice kind of fuchsia. But, again, here, that color is kind of cool. You can't see the purple on the black. Get a nice shine on that. In the shade, again, you got chocolate going on, I think. You compare that to like these guys. I guess you can see the purple there, maybe. It's kind of hard to say because of that one. Kind of an interesting color. I don't think it will work, but I think based on all of this, if we're going to do anything, it's going to be this one. Let's go hold it up against the wheels and see how the color contrasts against the wheels. So here you have a nice black wheel. And then, so down here when you're not directly hitting it in a light, that's kind of a cool color. And then you get the real blaze against the black there. I think that might work. That's kind of the color we were looking for, I think, was a greenish kind of tint. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys have any comment on this. One of the things I've noticed is that metallics just don't show up under the fluorescent lights. I mean, I don't see anything here. I take it outside in the sun. It's getting late in the day, but boom, there's all the metallics. Why is that? If you guys have a comment on why is it you can see the metallics in the daylight, but you can't see them under fluorescent light? That's an interesting question, obviously, when it comes around to painting my car. I want to make sure the metallics are all laid down neatly and stuff, but if you can't see under the light, that's a little tricky. Alright, anyway, for this experiment, I had a can of 2K clear coat that I had no idea what I was going to use for, and there you go. That's what I used it for, so I didn't have to mess around. It turned out for the paint I was spraying, so I was trying to mix up an ounce. That was too much by about a factor of 2 in most cases. I never ran out, and I had a lot of paint left over. I'll show you all the leftovers that I have here. Get an idea of how much was left after all of that. Not a ton, but I didn't mix that much up to begin with. But you can see I couldn't have mixed a whole lot less and actually sprayed it through the gun. I would have had to use an airbrush or something, which I considered. My buddy gave me his airbrush to do the experiment with, but I just ended up using the detail gun. Figure that would work. Anyway, that's it. So I'm going to bring these to my friend tomorrow and have him take a look at them and bring one of the wheels and see what he thinks. Oh yeah, before I forget, on the wheels, I had taped them up to this edge right here, but it hadn't really been sanded much on that inside edge there. I kind of only sanded up to the top here. And so I knew that wasn't going to stick very well in there, but it was a little scary going through cleaning this up today because I was taking compressed air and just watching all the paint flaking off. And I sanded it back to feather it, and I've gone over this with compressed air and everywhere. I don't think any more paint's going to come off, but it is a little scary because I don't really see any epoxy on this inside edge here, so I must have just missed that when I was spraying the epoxy. It seems like it's stuck pretty well on this outside edge here, which is really all that I cared about. This wheel came out about perfect right here. This is what I was trying to do, so I sanded it back. You can see that stripe there. And everything from that edge forward seems to be stuck really well. With the tires on there, you're not going to be able to see most of this anyway. I think about only half of it actually is visible. The tire inside lip, of course, is riding against this, so putting paint here is going to probably get destroyed anyway. But it's this coming across the top here is the part I'm a little worried about. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or comments on that, if you think that's a problem. I think it's going to be okay. There was just a couple of places on the wheels where that edge came a little further out than I wanted to. Can't really, like this one here, it's a little bit far out there, but again, you won't be able to see that when the tire's on there. And so that was one of those pucker moments. So after I got done with that, I took the compressed air and blew off the whole wheel, and I was like, it's just freaking out, is the paint going to flake off? And nothing came off on the faces of the wheels. So I think they're nice and stuck. Looking at them again in the daylight, they look good. I didn't find any new flaws anywhere, just that one run. And of course my buddy wants me to fix that one run. Where is it? Right there. Which is tough, since this is satin black. I'm not really sure how a blender would work on this, but that's how you're supposed to do single stage urethane. This stuff is use the blender. So theoretically I could sand that down right there and just hit this one spot and then use the blender to blend it out. Oh, look at that, it ran a little bit up there too. Yeah, I just hit this really hard apparently. Anyway, I'm going to bring him this wheel tomorrow, give him the worst one to look at, and see what he thinks. It's really not that easy to see that run anyway unless you're looking for it, so he may just say bang on it, but he may not. We shall see. But anyway, I'll let you know after tomorrow, or in the next few days. We'll figure out what we're going to do, if we're going to put the bronze on these or just bag it and call it a day. Don't know yet, so I will let you know. Thanks again, everybody. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.